made it to Chattanooga.
We're here. I dropped off my bike.
You're always louder.
We are here. Okay, we're here. I dropped my bike off for a quick tune-up. Thanks to QR for doing that. Quick car change, and now we're about to do a little open water swimming. It's rainy.
Time to get the weekend started. So how was the temperature?
It feels really good. I don't think we need a wetsuit. I started to get a little bit warm, I think.
Warm?
I'm going to splash around a little bit without the wetsuit. Let's see.
Okay. I'll be here.
Okay.
They always make fun of me. Alright, so plan for today is to check into the Airbnb, and then we got to pick up Caroline's bike. We dropped it off as soon as we got here so that she could get a few things worked on. So Kiara's taking a look at that, and then get a bite to eat and relax. There we go. Okay. Yeah, day 2 in Chattanooga. It's kind of loud.
It's not loud.
I like it here in Chattanooga.
We love
favorite
Chatt.
place. We can go up here.
Oh.
We got in our run this morning, and yeah, we're gonna get some coffee.
We were going to go to Need Loves, but the line is down the street. So we're
right.
going to Frothy Monkey, where we love. Yeah.
And then afterwards, we'll head over, get a swim in.
And a little ride.
Yeah, check the bikes down. We have the pro meeting at 1, and then kick the feet up.
Chilling.
All right.
Just jump over the gate and start running away from the place where you were chained, and keep running, keep running, keep running. Lose control.
All right. Bike's done. Tell us a little bit about the emotions. Give
My
us something.
emotions.
Give us something.
I'm nervous, but I'm still very excited to race. Body still feels good, but like I'm waiting for one last day of a little more pop, you know? Which usually shows up on race day. So that's kind of how I'm feeling. But yeah, got the wheel sorted out. Shout out Jenna for letting me borrow her wheel. Mine that I ordered still isn't in yet, so MVP. Feels good. Everything's working great. So yeah, it's warm. It just got really hot, but it's very humid. So that'll be a factor.
For sure.
But feeling good. Think it'll be wetsuit?
I don't know. Conrad was like, it's not gonna be wetsuit, but it's honestly kind of warm.
Yeah, I thought it
So,
felt a little warm yesterday.
Really, I don't think it will be, because that was really nice and refreshing and not like frigid. But I guess time will tell. I kind of hope it's not. Make a little bit more separation.
Oh, you think
in
you're
the
getting
swim.
away from the big dogs, don't you?
I've been swimming for like 3 years. I basically grew up swimming. So, no, I it's just, I like the challenge, I guess.
Okay.
The challenge on this one.
Yeah, I'm super indifferent.
It'll put you in your place, which is what's gonna happen tomorrow regardless, so.
That's true.
So, 70.3 Chattanooga is done.
We did it.
I guess now we're going to talk about our breakdown of the race. So, a little race recap. And go through the whole experience of swim, bike, and run. I know for me, before the race, nerves were kind of mellow, not super high. But I was definitely excited for the race to start. Once the gun went off, I quickly found some feet, just tried to kind of lay low, I guess. Didn't really want to spend too much early on. I guess about halfway through the swim, I realized, well, maybe I should kind of bridge up if I can and try and make some ground. The feet that I was swimming on was a little bit slower pace than what I knew I was capable of. And after sighting, I could see there was a little bit of separation to the group ahead of us. So I kind of went off on my own for, I don't know, maybe 400 meters. And then at that point, there's only about 400 meters left of the race. And I had caught the group ahead of us, which ended up being about 2 minutes down, I think, from the leader. So I didn't really know where I was. But yeah, I definitely knew that I had to, put myself in a decent position out of the swim. But then, yeah, I guess a few minutes after the guys went off. 3 minutes?
Yeah, 3 minutes. Yeah, so women started 3 minutes after. We're all in water start, and I right away just positioned myself with who I knew were strong swimmers and was going to try to attach myself to, and that's kind of exactly what I did. Aside from the top three, really strong swimmers who were about 2 minutes ahead, I found myself behind Jackie, and then around, I just had caps in my head that I knew who they were, which was helpful. So I knew I was able to relax, and that if I was with them, I was in a good spot.
I mean, you came out of the water.
Yeah, I came out of the water top 10, I think, right back the lead pack, the main big pack, which I was really excited about. And then, I guess onto the bike.
Yeah, so I got on the bike. Again, I really had no clue where I was in relation to the rest of the field. I had assumed that there was probably quite a few guys ahead of me. But early on, kind of got past a few guys and then was alone for maybe 3 or 4 miles, and was caught by 2 other guys. So I just decided to tag on and work with them, maybe up to about 30 miles. It was just us. And then we eventually saw a moto ahead, and there was about a group of 5 guys that we had caught. And this was kind of where my first tactical mistake was, because those 2 guys that I was riding with, they just went straight through the pack and then kept going. I assumed that maybe everyone would kind of tag along and we would just ride together. So that was mistake number 1. I hopped on the back, again, anticipating that the group would just kind of move together. But that was not the case. The 2 guys that I was with just went straight through.
So you wish you would just stayed with them?
Yeah, I should have just stayed with them. Eventually, I kind of worked my way through the group and then rode off the front with one of the other guys. It was just us 2, pretty much until the end of the bike.
For my bike, coming into T1, I had a great transition, slipped right in my shoes, but the top girls were ahead right away, and I wasn't sure I could go with them, and I didn't quite have the confidence to make that decision quick enough, and I didn't try. But I came out pretty close to Alice, and I remember seeing her come by me, and I thought she was ahead of me, and I looking back, I wish I would have tried to stay with her. Because I know a lot of us, or there was the top pack in the front, but then I was still minutes ahead of the more of the chase pack, and I found myself just kind of solo in the middle. And so I had really good power for me, but looking back, it was just so much slower than it could have been had I tried to work in a pack. And I just need to build that confidence to at least try, surge for 20 minutes, burn a couple matches, and at least give myself a chance to try to ride with people. Because once again, I just found myself solo. One other thing that I kind of messed up, I over-concentrated my bottles quite a bit. I wasn't planning on stopping at the aid stations, and I had 3 bottles, but with the right amount of sodium, but it was just like too many carbs in one bottle and I couldn't really get it down. So I got as much of one down as I could, but it kind of made me feel sick. And so I had to stop and get water to dilute it. So I stopped twice to get regular water, ended up just tossing one of my nutrition bottles and then only had one of them. So I had, and then supplemented with plenty of gels. So I think I had enough carbs, but it ended up being like 100 an hour, I think. And then, but just not enough sodium by the end for how much I was sweating, because it wasn't that hot, but it was like 100% humidity and I'm an extremely heavy sweater. So looking back, that's what I definitely need to fix, because I'm normally pretty good with nutrition, but I just made a mistake with that. So yeah, coming into T2, the one age grouper ended up passing me like right in the last like 5 miles, I think, and he was like male, yeah. And he was like, hey, there's a big pack about a minute back. And I was like, oh shit. So then I, just kept pushing what I was doing, but like, strong, just like refocused. And, but the last like 10 miles, my glute had like locked up. So that was a little rough. Just kind of like, yeah, muscular. I don't know. But, anyway, so came in ahead of the pack, but they were like really close to me at that point. So started the run, yeah, almost with another pack, but you can go on yours.
Yeah, well, I guess touching base back on my ride, I actually, for the first time ever, got in all my nutrition.
Hey, Mitch.
So, pace, too.
Amazing. How do you feel?
So yeah, that was one thing that I was like, wow, I actually feel good finishing the bike and I'm ready to run and the body actually feels all right. So again, I wanted to tread lightly coming off the bike. There was 2 other guys behind me at a T2. I didn't really see anyone up ahead. But yeah, just slowly got into it on the run. I really had no idea how I would feel. So going into like the first mile, it's pretty steep. There's some pretty steep hills for maybe like the first 3/4 of a mile. So yeah, took that easy and then found a rhythm. And then early on dropped one of the guys that was on my shoulder and then ran with the other guy for a few miles, I would say. We chatted a bit towards the beginning, and then I slowly put in some time, and was kind of cruising along, feeling pretty good, and was ready to kick it into gear towards the later stages of the run. And then I guess I didn't have enough sodium in, because I got a fairly bad side stitch. The diaphragm cramped up pretty bad. I tried kind of just stretching it out and seeing if I could loosen it up at all. Twice I walked, maybe for a total of like 30 seconds, just to, try and do something, try and get rid of it. So the guy that I was running with earlier in the race, he had caught up a little bit. I asked him if he had any sodium, and thankfully he gave me a salt pill.
That's so sweet.
So threw that down.
Do you know who it was?
It's Reed. I forget his last name.
Shout out Reed.
Yeah, shout out to Reed. He's the real MVP. So yeah, took that down, got in some water at the next 2 aid stations, and luckily a little bit after 11 miles in, it loosened up, and by that time it was ready to finish off the race. I caught the guy ahead of me, maybe a mile to go, and finished 20th.
Nice. For me coming into T2, like I thought I felt pretty good. I knew I would bike strong for me, it wasn't the time I wanted, but power wise. Anyway, I had to pee so bad, and usually my race, the way I do it is just sit down while I put my shoes on and just pee. So I tried that, but I just couldn't. And I knew I had to go because the girls came in at that point, were in T2. And so I was like, I just gotta go. So I ended up having to hold it, and that was probably the worst part. But anyway, took a couple miles to really shake my glute off, but immediately just felt not good. And usually I feel good running, and I can't wait to run, and that's my favorite part. And I just knew I didn't have it. So I just tried to hold my own. It was slower than I wanted it to be, but I mean, while it wasn't insanely slow, it was much slower than I'm capable of, and even than I ran last year. I should have been like 5-6 minutes faster. So, I mean, even coming in, start seeing girls that I know I can usually run with and run faster than, I just couldn't respond when they passed me. So that was unfortunate, but just tried to turn it around, got in the carbs I needed, but I think I was just behind on sodium for how much I was sweating, and that's what I'd fix for the most part. But came away with 21st, so yeah.
We seem to find similar placing
Always.
in our races.
Yeah.
Both got 15th at St. Anthony's. And then
Yeah. Last year this
honestly-
race, we both got 5th, I think.
Yeah. Honestly, I thought we had both gotten 21st, and then, again, I really didn't know where I was the whole race or who was in front of me, and it was a lot of fun just to race, though. Mm-hmm. I think that's like the experience that I really wanted, and it brings a little bit more light to like what we're training for, I think.
Yeah, that's one thing I think we both came away with more intention with training leading into our next couple races, like more specific things we need to work on within the individual disciplines. So
yeah, it's a lot more clear, like what needs to be done and where our weaknesses are. And I think, like, of course, tactically we both might have made a few mistakes and just didn't make the right split decisions that we needed to, but
that's going to change every race.
I mean,
so
well, that'll just come on with experience, I think.
Yeah, so like
more racing.
With that, I think like being able to respond more quickly and make those decisions is something we just have to work on too. And I need to build the confidence and like knowing, okay, I can do this for 20 minutes and be able to settle back in so that I can give myself a chance to, be with them. Whereas I'm so quick to just be like, I'm good here, I'm comfortable at this power, I know I can do this, and so I'm gonna stay here. And so that's definitely one thing I'll be working on, kind of like surging and returning type of stuff, and just overall getting stronger. Yeah, so next up we have 70.3 Maine, end of July, so we got a good stretch of time before then.
About 8 weeks from now.
Yeah.
So a good solid block between then and now. I just want to race again.
Yeah. So fire is lit.
Back to work for now.
Yeah.
But
That's
super
funny.
excited. I think we're both really motivated to get back into it. We're taking this week a little bit easier. And then,
I'm still being
definitely.
cautious with injury stuff.
Yeah, gotta stay healthy in order to
That's my biggest goal this season.
All right.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Well, we'll see
Till
you on
next
the next
time.
one.